Very simple format. We're going to do 5 minutes for each candidate to present themselves, and then we're going to have 5 minutes of questions for that candidate, and then we'll move on to the next. And rather than sort of choose random or out of a hat, we're just going to follow the ballot. So we're going to start off with the selectmen's race, and the first name on the ballot is Mark Asper.
Okay. All right. Well, good evening, Newfields. Just wanted to first say that I'm here tonight not as just a select board candidate, but also as a neighbor, a friend, and someone who shares your hopes and dreams for this town. And while I've been walking around and meeting people in town, I have heard, and I want to acknowledge this, that there were concerns about our town being divided. And I think there's some truth to that. Many of you have also said, though, that they love and care about this town. And hearing all of this, I thought, well, we all do have a choice, including myself, to be either a part of the problem or to become a part of the solution. And I'm choosing to be part of the solution. I'm here not as someone with all the answers, and someone that's eager to listen and to learn, and to collaborate with you and make a better future for everyone in Newfields. So thinking about the future, over the past year, age 57, my son's now in college, having spent some time working in advertising over 20 years, and I was thinking, okay, well, what's next for my own life? And I had written down a plan for myself categorized in 3 buckets: my health, wealth, and self. And I won't bore you about my own personal goals, but the reason I'm bringing that up is I was thinking that these are goals similar to the spirit of how I'd approach this position as a selectman. My focus would be grounded in those 3 areas: health, wealth, and self. So what does that mean? So firstly, talking about health, this isn't about individual well-being, but more about the vitality of this community. I obviously support a well-equipped police department and our fire department. Our children deserve the best learning environment, equipped with dedicated teachers. Clean water, protected green spaces, and accessible recreational areas, those aren't luxuries. They're investments in our collective health and happiness. And I'll support initiatives that promote healthy living and opportunities to enjoy walking, biking, connecting with nature. And then there's wealth. We all care about the responsible use of our tax dollars. We must not only manage our expenses wisely, but also explore new avenues for revenue for strong financial future. This includes supporting local businesses, attracting responsible development, and utilizing grants strategically. So finally, self. As the saying goes, your thoughts become things. And this extends to our community. If we take on a positive attitude and an active role in our community, we become more connected. The success of our town does not rest on the shoulders of any one individual, but on the collective efforts of all of its residents. And I do believe in the word collective. What truly matters is your vision in this town, making sure that you are heard and that information is communicated back to you. So by keeping an open dialogue, cooperating together, I believe we can unlock the true potential of this town that we all call our home. So thank you for your time and consideration.
So as mentioned, we'll just take a brief, 5 minutes. If people have questions, you're welcome to raise your hand and ask Mark. Anybody have any questions? Yep, in the back.
Hi, Mark. You
Hi.
came to my door the other day. I'd never
Yes.
met you before. We had a lovely conversation. And thank you for what you said. I actually agree that we probably are we may disagree a lot in this town, there may be differences, but, you know, we also like this town.
Yeah.
Can you talk about whether you have a thick skin, whether you can have a healthy debate, and win some and lose some, and maybe give an example of where you've ever done that?
Well, I'll tell you, and my brother's going to be seeing this video. I'll tell you one thought that I had. So my brother and I just bought a house that we're flipping out in western Massachusetts. And he has a certain way of doing things. He's very meticulous. And I'm a little bit more of a dreamer, a little more creative. And so the two of us have to work together, right? So I could argue with him and just to be right, right? I can insist on being right, or we can make it happen, okay? I'm guilty of spouting off, thinking I'm right, you know, walking around town. I had a gentleman say, you know, sometimes we do this righteous indignation online, and I'm guilty of doing it myself, and I admit that. And I will make sure that I will try to repair that as much as I can, at least on my own end. So you have that. As far as a thick skin, I don't know why we need to argue that way. We don't need to have an embroiled battle over things. You can say, well, this is the way I think about it. And the other person might say, well, you're stupid, Mark. No, I'm just kidding. They would say, okay, well, I don't really agree with you. That's fair enough. That's okay. So I think that's a natural progression on how things develop. You know, the one nice thing about this country, and there's not a lot of countries like this, that there are checks and balances. I wouldn't want to give the keys to either side, a Republican or a Democrat, to let them drive 100% of the time. I wouldn't. I like the idea of checks and balances. So, anything else? Anyone else?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Our next candidate this evening is Michael Kessler.
Good evening, everybody. As you know, I'm currently the select board member serving now. For those who don't know me, I moved here in 2004. So as the town is getting ready to celebrate its 175th, I'll be celebrating my 20th. Myself and my family, we love this town. I've volunteered a lot of my time over the last 20 years to ensuring that, you know, this town was a great place to live in. So some examples: in 2004, right off the bat, I joined NYAA. From 2004 to 2016, I served NYAA as a coach, mostly the entire time, as a coordinator, as vice president, and finally as president. We were able to keep the NYAA as a truly recreational facility. We were able to run, you know, on a very small budget, but it also allowed us to keep enrollment fees at a minimum. And we would search out even those families who couldn't afford the enrollment fees and give scholarships and make sure that every kid in town had an opportunity to play and learn about the sport. And even more than that, learn about sportsmanship. The way that we would run our program is to ensure that everybody had equal playing time. Somebody reminded me of a game we had. We hadn't won a game all year. It was a tough year. We're a small town, so we had a lot of tough years. But we were, you know, we were in this game till, you know, we were down, I think, a point, and time had come to rotate the kids out. And we made the determination everybody's going to get the equal playing time. I could have kept some of the better shooters in, what have you, but we felt, you know, that's not how we're running this program. So, yeah, that was NYAA. For those of you who also don't know, I'm a U.S. Navy submarine veteran. So, as a submariner, spent a lot of time overseas and underseas. And so, in all that time, really, on submarines, we had one rule, okay? And that was to make sure that your number of surfaces equaled your number of dives, okay? If your surfaces didn't equal dives, yeah, you weren't coming up. And the way we had to do that was together, okay? So we had to find a way to make sure that that boat came to the surface every single time. And so I've been a part of teams, I've led teams to make sure that everybody survives. And that's the same approach that I take to this position. And the same approach I'll continue to take to this position. Other things about me, for in town, I joined Celebration Committee in 2006. I was asked to play Santa. I always joke, because I was the only guy in town who didn't need a pillow. So I've been doing that pretty much every year since. We've come a long way with that program as well. We've got the Letters of Santa. This past year, we had 46 letters come in from 4 towns. Every letter was answered and hand delivered. So, so we've done well with that. With the other thing I do on celebrations with the Memorial Day Committee. Like I said, we've got the big 175th this year. We're all looking forward to it. We've been working real hard on that since last year. But you know, for me, it's such an honor to be in such a small community with over 65 veterans in town. I mean, it's really amazing if you think about the size of our community. And really, they're the ones that drive me to work so hard to make sure that that parade and that picnic and everything is set just right for everybody here in town. So, and then lastly, I'll ask for your vote. You know, I've been, like I said, here 20 years, volunteering my time the entire time, having successes along the way, and I would ask you give me your vote and we can keep that success moving forward. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions for Mike? In the back?
Sure. Thank you for your service. You jumped right in, and I saw you at the Veterans Day. I thought you were terrific.
Thanks.
And thanks for jumping into this job midway. Can you talk about your experience over the past year or so? What have you learned? And akin to the question I had to your opponent, when have you had to take on, and maybe not agree with your colleagues on the board, and try to persuade them one way or another?
Okay. So I'll take the last part first. I have 2 brothers and a sister. So I would say, you know, we'll take garbage this year. Was a big discussion. And the one thing that I absolutely did not agree with was the limiting of the number of trash cans you can put out. We've got a lot of people in town with, you know, more than 5 or 6 people in the household. I know just myself with 4 people in my household, we generate quite a bit. So, you know, to the point, you make your points, you try to be persuasive, and then a judgment's made, and then you're moving on. You know, one of the things I do for work, I work for Turner Construction, and I do a lot of proposals. I put a lot of time and effort into proposals and writing proposals, and then, you know, up against other companies, and then, you know, you put all that work in, and then all of a sudden you're trying to persuade an owner, and then they choose somebody else. You don't know why. You know, you got to learn to live with it, and then you're moving on. You know, so I would say that's probably my best approach. Is that, you know, if there's something that I don't agree with, I will make my points as best I can and try to persuade the other 2 members of the board. I mean, it just so happens that, you know, a lot of times in this past year, and I will get into kind of what I learned over the last year, we've seen eye to eye on quite a few things. There were a few things that we didn't. and I think we've all kind of lost a battle here and there, you know, as to what we wanted to have happen. But at the end of the day, we're all moving forward. And this year has been a real eye-opener for me with regards to town. So again, for those who don't know, I'm in West Newfields, right? And then I'm up against the Epping line back there, and all the action is right here in town. So it's been great for me to get engaged again in the town. You know, I was doing that with NYAA, and I, you know, kind of felt that same excitement joining the select board.
Very good. Any other questions for Mike? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks.
So the next candidate on the ballot is for trustee of the trust funds, and that's Alfred Bobst. Is Alfred here this evening? Didn't see him earlier. So I think it's a position he's held, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe if you wanted to get in touch, you could reach out. Yes, sir.
Is he running unopposed?
He is running unopposed. Yep.
Okay.
It's a 3-year term. Yeah, well, you know, in fairness, it's nice to have people speak if they would like to. We have some other folks that are unopposed that are here tonight to speak. So next on the list is for cemetery trustee, and that's Ann Elliott, who is also running unopposed, but has come here tonight to speak. So thank you very much.
Exciting job. Did everyone get their town report? If you didn't, they're right in back. If you go to page 73, I'd like to have you see our beautiful cemetery work we've done. I've been a cemetery trustee for the past few years with Sam Burchell and Lynn Sweet. So if you see, we recontracted with WJD Landscapers in May of 2023. That's because of our cemetery trustee mowing company bailed on us right before Memorial Day. That was not fun, so we got to get a new landscaper, and they did a great job. And again, we're gonna do WJD Landscapers. They're gonna do spring cleanups, summer mowing for all the public cemeteries. If you didn't know, we have 4. We have Piscassic, which is out by Bald Hill. We have 108. We have Locust Grove, and then we have Hilton too. And Sam's gonna be working on a really great sign to show you where the Hilton burial ground is, so you can see that. We contracted with Gravestone Services of New England. They did some work for us about 3 years ago, over a couple of years, to do gravestone restoring, to make sure all the biologics were off the gravestones and everything, and did some repairing of gravestones. And then we want to thank Eddie Nichols and Sam Burchell for fixing the large stone that was displaced, and a post over by Piscassic. There's a picture there where it had to be repaired. And then there are a lot of Locust Grove tree removals. A lot of the old pine trees are getting really big and dropping branches. And then we assisted with those wishing to purchase or locate grave sites. So the reason I became a cemetery trustee, and if anyone wants to think about it in the future, is my uncle passed away from pancreatic cancer at 43. My mom passed away at 65. They both had their grave plots all in their will, and it was really no stress on me as being the executor and having to find things. So if you go to page 74, of course I'm going to let you know that persons desiring to purchase burial space shall apply to the cemetery trustees, who will provide all necessary information as to size, location, price, etc. Note, as of 6/24/08, one space is 40 wide by 10 long, is $500 for residents of Newfields. And then if you're not a resident, you can still purchase, for $1,000 you can purchase a grave. 2 graves sold next to each other will have 2 inches between the vaults. We don't just use the castle, we have the vaults. And then reservation space will be made only on a deposit satisfactory to the trustees. And then I wanted to let you know that during my time as being a cemetery trustee, if you go down a little bit and look at interments, we have 4, I'm trying to find it. Here it is, H. is 4 cremation burials are allowed in 1 grave. So if you do buy one space, you could have a family plot of cremations, just so that you know that that's an option now. So if you could vote for me for cemetery trustee, that'd be great. Yes, I'm unopposed, but I know you're gonna think about it for next year. And Lynn and Sam will have, people to vote. Yes, okay, help you.
Just out of curiosity, years ago I served on the planning board in another town, and one of the things that came before us was that you were required to have a certain percentage of space available in your community cemeteries. I think it was like 10%. My memory's a little faded, of the town population. Are we running out of room in our cemeteries? Do we have plenty of room left, or?
I think 108 has plenty of, I would think
Okay.
it has plenty of room in it, yeah. And what's happening too over the past couple of years is we've, some people have actually sold their plots back. And then we've found some doing research of opening up some grave sites in Piscassic and Locust Grove, which currently used to be things being full, and they're not full, so.
So we're not near the point of needing to
I don't
acquire
think so.
new
There's a
cemetery.
lot of room when we look at our cemetery map in 108. Okay?
Good, anybody else
Oh,
have
any
any
questions?
questions?
So how much is a plot?
500.
Oh my God.
Next up is library trustee. I'm not sure if Jack Parham's is here or not. Going once. Jack is also running unopposed, so next up is actually the position that I am on the ballot for, which is town moderator. I'm fairly confident most of you may know a little bit about me, but I'll give you just a quick synopsis of who I am. My name's John Hayden. I'm a lifelong resident of the town, actually a generational resident of the town. Family's been here in Newfields, I think, since before the United States was the United States, actually. And I have a lot of love for the community, feel a sense of being here, and by participating in the roles of moderator, I'm also a member of the planning board, just feels right to give back to the community. It's something that my family's always done. And so that's it for me as far as my desires to be involved with the town. As far as moderator goes, moderator is really a pretty straightforward role, but it can be a little complex. A lot of laws involved with elections. I'm not an attorney. A lot of moderators are attorneys, and I think it is purposeful in some instances. However, as a community, we have resources available, not just town council, but we have the local government center up in Concord and other resources that can help. The Secretary of State's office is a tremendous resource for all of the election officials in town, not just myself as moderator, but town clerk and ballot clerks and supervisors of the checklist. We all utilize the Secretary of State's office pretty extensively. So the moderator's role really is just to ensure that our elections are held in accordance with the law. And so I think we do a really great job of that. We have an excellent team of ballot and election officials that participate. I'm sure all of you who vote have been through and seen how the process works. I'm always available if anybody ever has any questions about anything. And I would just ask for your vote on the 12th of March. So, any questions anyone may have at this time? Be happy to answer them. If you think of something later, you can reach out anytime. Be happy to answer any questions anyone may have. Yes, sir.
John, I just wanted to say thank you for all your work. It's a lot of effort, what you do. It takes a lot of work throughout the year. I suspect it's pretty much a thankless job, too, so I just want to say thank you.
All right, so next on the ballot is supervisor of the checklist. We have 3, we rotate them. It's a 6-year term, and Tom Morgan is up for re-election this year.
Okay, so we'll keep this pretty short and sweet. So I'll be running what I think is for my 3rd term, and possibly could be 4, time does fly. So the team we have right now actually works well together. It's myself, Connie Murphy, and Brittany Thompson. So, like I said, we work well together because we'd like to continue going forward and keep things going the way they are. So, yeah, I just want to mention on as far as anyone considering being a supervisor, on the actual day of the elections, it's kind of a special day because you not only get a chance to meet some of the new voters that come in, because some of them obviously wait till the election day to sign up, but you get a chance to touch base with a lot of the town people, where typically you don't see that often. And plus, there are 2 catered meals. You gotta include all this stuff. And actually, you do get a stipend. So, overall, it's a good day. It's a long day, but it's a good day. And so, I'd appreciate your vote on March 12th as I continue on.
Any questions for Tom?
Okay. I'll be here if you have any.
Thank you, Tom. So that's it for the town side. Next, we'll move on to the school. We'll do the Newfields Elementary School ballot first, and then we'll do the cooperative school district. So on the Newfields School Board side, we have one race there for school board member for a 3-year term. We have 2 folks running, and first on the ballot is Jackie Tasnari.
Good evening. For those of you who haven't had the pleasure to meet me yet, I'm Jackie Tasnari. You may have recognized me from festive Christmas caroling events at the Town Hall celebration, or perhaps as an enthusiastic Cubmaster and Den leader of Pack 323 in Exeter, where we participated in Martin Luther King Day and the different parades here in town. Maybe we've crossed paths in the sci-fi fantasy book club gatherings at the Newfields Library, or you've seen me lending a hand at various NPTO and town-wide events. And to those who do know me, well, it's great to see you again. By day, I'm a high school math teacher at Pinkerton Academy, but my heart, I'm deeply committed to serving our community as a member of the Newfields Elementary School Board. And tonight, I'm excited to share a little bit about my journey and why I'm seeking re-election. Since I first joined the school board back in 2021, my mission has been simple: to create a vibrant and supportive learning environment for our students, for all of our students. Together with the incredible school staff, we've been looking tirelessly to bring back a sense of normalcy, reviving beloved traditions, and ensuring that every child has an opportunity to thrive. But the work doesn't stop there. I firmly believe that our students deserve nothing but the best, which is why I've been digging into student data, exploring innovative ways to support their learning journey. From appointing specialized coaches in a math and science program and literacy, we're dedicated to unlocking the full potential of every student who walks through the doors. Of course, safety is also a top priority, and as a school board, we are currently tackling a project to improve the layout of our school grounds, where the crosswalk and stairs are near the fire station. And so we want to make sure and to ensure that all the kids are safe. And your input does matter. So over the next year, you're going to see opportunities where we're going to invite town folks to come and see those presentations as we try to have discussions with you about how can we improve the safety of our school location. Now let's talk about community. Your voice matters, and I've always been there here to listen. Whether it's addressing concerns or finding solutions together, I'm committed to being an advocate every step along the way. So as I stand before you tonight, I'm not just asking for your vote, I'm asking for your trust, your support, and your partnership in shaping the future of our children. Together, let's continue to build a brighter tomorrow. Thank you for being here, and I can't wait to embark on this journey with each and every one of you.
Anyone have any questions for Jackie? Going once. You're off the hook.
If you have any questions later, come see me.
Next on the ballot for school board is Jane Walsh.
Hey, everybody. I really want to thank everybody for coming tonight. This is lovely to be able to see a lot of faces that I've seen around town and in general have such great support. Whether you agree with me or want to vote for me or not, I really appreciate you all being here. So I served on the Newfields Elementary School Board from 2019 to 2022. I am the current treasurer, and I've served on the Budget Advisory Committee for the past 2 years. I'm running to serve another term because one of my passions is the fiscal impact overarchingly. I do want to work to maintain quality education for every single kid in this town, but that needs to be balanced without placing an undue burden on the Newfields taxpayers. So, a little bit about me. I've lived in the Seacoast for almost all of my life. My husband and I moved here specifically for the schools with our 2 girls. We found a good school, but we also found a wonderful town. It has charmed us and given both of our girls a lot of joy. I mentioned I'm here again on this podium after being off of the school board for 2 years. I'm running because I'm concerned about some of the actions of the current school board and their fiscal impact, especially on taxpayers. During the 3 years that I was on the school board, and for the past 5 years and up until this year, NES has consistently returned between $150,000 and $300,000 to taxpayers to offset the tax rate. This year, that was only $40,000. This upcoming year, there's almost a 7% increase in the proposed operating budget, which does not include the proposed teacher salaries and benefits contract. The school board also voted to have a $1.8 million parking lot added to the Newfields Elementary School after Chief Young requested a safer crosswalk. I completely agree with the Chief's crosswalk recommendation. But it went from a crosswalk project to $1.8 million parking lot. This also required a bond hearing. The deadline was missed by either intentionally or unintentionally. The bond was publicly not posted, so this is not on our ballot right now. $1.8 million is a lot of money. I would not have recommended this expenditure at all. The board's decisions, which impacted our most recent budget, were not presented to the Budget Advisory Committee in a timely manner for proper review and comment, and with absolutely no time for recommendations to change. If elected, I am absolutely committed to work cooperatively with the Budget Advisory Committee and to seek their input, and more importantly, their advice. I think we all gasped when we opened our tax bills this year. The increase in expenses and the lack of money returned to taxpayers, specifically from NES, was a big part of that reason. I am committed to and want to get back on the school board to remedy this situation. I want to have balance I want to provide our children with a quality education, and I do mean a quality education. Our kids need to learn, and learn with a really good understanding of what that means. I want to take care of our teachers and our school staff, but we need to be fiscally responsible by doing that. I want to minimize our tax burden. I'm also committed to explore options for grants and outside funding to pay for special projects so we can offset some costs. Grants like the one we applied for when I was on the board help us to use less money from taxpayers, decrease the overall tax burden, and return as much as possible to the taxpayers. I fully recognize that we have a community to serve, all of the community, and taking advantage of grants and other opportunities benefits everyone. If you hadn't heard, I was on the school board during the COVID years, which were not easy for anyone, including our students, especially in education. I was happy to be part of the NES community during that time, though. And I want to share with you why I think it would be the best person to resume my service on the school board. One of my main goals during my 3 years on the board was to ask a lot of questions. During COVID, you had to. Didn't get them all right. But when I returned, I promised to ask questions, to do my research, and to do my best to fully impact board decisions and our community. I'll listen to everybody. I don't care if you voted for me or not. I want to hear from you. I don't care what you say on Facebook. I don't care what you say to your neighbors. Let me know what you want and what's important to you, and I will absolutely listen to you. There's always complex and difficult decisions to be made, and I want to make sure that we're making the right ones. I'm going to gather the facts. I'm going to ensure that I listen to everybody. I can't emphasize that enough. And evaluate all the information received. I use my energy, my skills, and my dedication to this town to provide leadership that our school community can count on. I'll also use my professional, technical, and analytical skills to investigate and evaluate information to make the best decisions for everybody. During my tenure on the school board, I strive to make NES better. I was an integral part of the principal search, which gave us Susie Griffith. She's great. She's made transformational changes to support our children, their education, and the staff. She created the summer program, and I 100% supported, and I continue to encourage other innovative ideas that will benefit our students. I'll do everything I can to help to continue to raise test scores at NES and assist our students in continuing their post-COVID improvements. I was proud of the improvements in test scores that we saw in 2022, but while standardized test scores are not the only gauge of accomplishment, and I know we have further to go, I'll work to facilitate our students moving in the right direction, both academically and personally. Our teachers, our staff, and everyone in the building are the lifeblood of our schools and contribute to a successful experience and a great community. While I was on the board, we approved and made much needed repairs and improvements to the building 3 years ahead of schedule. This helped our kids attend a school in a safe environment. 3 years that I was on the school board, I worked hard to keep the NES budget fiscally responsible without sacrificing student needs. We maintained a responsible budget that gave us back a tiny buffer for emergencies and enabled us to give unused funds back to taxpayers every year, reducing the tax burden. I also helped negotiate the teacher contracts when I was on the school board and paraprofessional contracts that were fair and reflective of the incredible work that our teachers and paras do every day. They have my thanks and dedication, and I would love to continue working with them. All of our students and educators deserve to have the resources and support to be their best. The students at NES need the help, the support, and tools needed for that. We have amazing staff, our paraprofessionals, our teachers, and they're poised to do great things in the upcoming years. The students in our community deserve the best education, and I will support and advocate for them. I'll work towards these goals while also taking care of the Newfields taxpayers. I greatly appreciate your support. If you have questions or would like to talk more later, let me know. I'm always open for a chat, but thank you, and I really do look forward to seeing you on the goals as well.
While we're here, Candidates are going to be for the cooperative school district. Again, that's a board membership. There are two folks running, Amy Ransom and Jackie Tasnari. Amy's first on the ballot. She was unable to be here tonight, but she did leave a word for us to, I'm going to read for her to tell you all a little bit about her. So this is entitled Personal Intro. My name is Amy Ransom. I live in Newfields, and I'm running for the Newfields seat on the Exeter Regional Cooperative School Board. I am a school business administrator with over 20 years of experience in fiscal management, accounting, and budgeting. I currently serve as a business administrator for the Oyster River Cooperative School District, and I'm vice president of the New Hampshire School Administrators Association. In addition to my work on behalf of the NHSAA, I previously served 15 years on the board of the New Hampshire Association of School Businesses Officials. Was its president and was recognized as Business Administrator of the Year in 2016. My children attend the Cooperative Middle School and Exeter High School, and I have lived with my family in Newfields for more than 10 years. My commitment to the Exeter area community began in 2011 when I became the business administrator for SAU 16, and I successfully served the SAU's 6 towns and 7 districts through 2017. I participate in the annual school district meeting each year and endeavor to stay current on the work of the Cooperative School Board. The years I have spent in district leadership have equipped me with insight into the educational landscape here in New Hampshire, as well as national policies related to K through 12 education in general. I leverage that knowledge to engage and empower stakeholders. I work to prioritize effective communication and transparency while maintaining a commitment to optimizing learning outcomes for students. In my work with school boards, I choose a collaborative approach that I hope will foster a positive climate of trust and engagement. My desire as a stakeholder in public education is to empower others to contribute to their district's success and support the search for innovative solutions to enhance opportunities for both students and faculty. I believe that my many years of experience and dedicated support to students, staff, and the Exeter area community will make me a valuable asset to the Cooperative School Board. As a board member, my focus will be to empower administrators and educators to create a dynamic and rich learning environment that fosters innovation, intellectual growth, curiosity, and personal development for every learner. Please support me with your vote for the Exeter Cooperative School Board. So that's a note from Amy. Since she's not here, we won't take any questions. But, Jackie, you're up next.
Good evening again. I come before you tonight not just as a high school math teacher at Pinkerton Academy, but also as a proud parent of a 17-year-old at Exeter High School, and I also do have a 3rd grader at Newfields Elementary School. With certifications in math, social studies, and principal, I bring a diverse perspective to the table, driven by a heartfelt passion for the education of all students. Throughout my journey in education, I've been fortunate to witness moments of success, as well as areas in need of improvement. While there are shining examples of excellence, there are also places where we can do better. One such area is the vital connection between teachers and parents. It worries me when I see instances where teachers miss opportunities to reach out to parents when their students are facing challenges. Effective communication is a bedrock of student success, and it's crucial that we strengthen the bond between our educators and families. Moreover, I firmly believe in the importance of enriching experiences beyond the classroom. It saddens me that some of our students miss out on opportunities like visiting Washington, D.C., an experience that can truly broaden horizons. Additionally, our schools lack inclusive activities like school dances that can bring students together in a spirit of camaraderie beyond academics and sports. It's essential that we offer a variety of activities that cater to the diverse interests of our student body. Furthermore, recent discussions about the work environment for our paraprofessionals at the cooperative level has deeply troubled me. Every member of our school community deserves to work in an environment where they feel supportive and respectful. Drawing from my experience in Newfields on the elementary school board, where I worked closely with our para-educators to ensure fair treatment, I am committed to advocating for the rights and well-being of all of our staff members in our district. In conclusion, I stand before you as a candidate for the Exeter Cooperative Middle School Board because I believe wholeheartedly in the transformative power of education. I am dedicated to addressing the areas where we fall short and working collaboratively with all stakeholders to create a positive change that benefits every student and staff member. Together, we can create a warmer, more inclusive education community for the future. Thank you for your consideration, and I humbly ask for your support in this endeavor. Thank you.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
Hi, George Drinkwater. Last year at Cooperative Middle School, we had a huge problem with getting bus drivers for the games, after-school games, especially girls' sports. And I protested, made a lot of noise, and I found out that there's reasons why they have a shortage of drivers. They can't pass the background checks. So one of the things, I don't know where it stands right now, but I've talked to the superintendent, etc. What I would like to see is a proposal to have the coaches trained to drive minivans. And this bus company doesn't have them, but coaches can do that and be paid the rate, which would be a big boost to them. They can have the training, and if you're elected, I would really like to see you pursue that topic. And it's been dropped, I think.
That's definitely something that I've actually been passionate about because I'm actually the math team coach for Pinkerton Academy, and we compete against Exeter High School. And we have to have all of our meets remote because of a couple school districts, Exeter being one of them, can't get buses.
Yes.
So I definitely feel that because at Pinkerton, we came up with a solution. We had training for minibuses so that advisors, coaches can drive their students, and I think that's a wonderful idea to a solution.
And there's another issue. You can't just have parents driving all these kids. People don't realize it, but it leads to liability issues with their cars. I found out this. Well, I'm an old guy. I'll just drive the grandkids. And then I couldn't take the other kids, which my granddaughter got real upset with me. So it's a big issue.
It is, and I think it needs to be addressed, and I don't think it has been.
I don't know why I'm asking the question. What happens if you get elected to both positions?
So I'm allowed to be on both boards.
Okay.
They meet different days.
Yep.
So I would just be in the different mindsets for each of the boards. I'll be looking at the elementary school from that perspective of, that age group, right? Because they're developmentally different than the middle school, high school kids, and looking at it from those different lenses. I think I'm in a unique position because I'm a parent of a lovely 8-year-old and a 17-year-old. I work in a high school, so I see all the kids all the time and what they go through in the classroom. So I think I have that unique perspective. I also teach a faith formation to second graders, so I also have that in as well. So I think I can go through both of them through the different lenses needed.
Yes, sir.
Do you have any, the demographics of New Hampshire are getting grayer and grayer and grayer. I'm joining that club. My kids are almost out of high school at this point, but how do you see the future of our district where we're seeing fewer and fewer kids in all 6 communities? Yet at the same time, we all have big hearts and want to have bigger programs and bigger everything. How do we balance that over the long term? We want to maintain a high standard at CMS and Exeter High School as well as support our community schools. yet we're running out of kids. Any thoughts on that?
You would have to look at the whole situation, right? So if you're having less kids, I'd like to think you're downsizing somehow, right? I look at my work, we actually had an increase in student enrollment, so we had to add teachers. It would be the same kind of idea of, well, we'd have to cut back on certain resources, but still having that high level of expectation there, because we should be meeting every kid's need, that kid that excels and does AP calculus to the kid that's really struggling and maybe needs an extra support in their Algebra 1 class. Because we have to meet those criteria, but also depending on the students, right, you can cut back too. There's creative ways to work around it. So.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, we've run out of candidates. So our voting day is the 12th of March. We'll be here from 8 to 7, is that correct, Sue? I'm sure you'll see it on the marquee out in front of the town hall, but we hope to see you all there on the 12th, and thank you all very much for coming out tonight, and have a great rest of your evening.
Thank you.
Somebody said something they don't want on camera, right?